There is a place in Mexico City where the ground itself seems to carry memory. The Estadio Azteca has stood for decades, watching generations of footballers walk across its grass, and today, on the 11th of June, 2026, it opens its arms to the world once more. The stands are filling slowly at first, then all at once, the way crowds always do, people finding their seats, adjusting their scarves, looking up at the vast bowl of the stadium around them and feeling something quietly enormous settle in. This is the opening ceremony of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and it is unlike any that has come before. For the first time in the tournament's history, the World Cup is being shared across 3 nations simultaneously, and so 3 opening ceremonies will unfold across 3 cities over consecutive days. The Scotsman https://www.scotsman.com/sport/international/world-cup-opening-ceremony-2026-how-to-watch-tv-who-is-performing-8667113 Mexico City goes first. Toronto follows. Then Los Angeles. The unifying idea, as described by the ceremony's creative director Marco Ballack, is the celebration of sport itself, and the passion for football, symbolized by the cup. NBC Los Angeles https://www.nbclosangeles.com/world-cup/world-cup-2026-opening-ceremonies-date-time-performers/39026/closing 3 countries, 1 shared beginning. Here in Mexico City, the visual language of the ceremony draws from the tradition of papel picado, the delicate paper cutouts that flutter above markets and festivals across Mexico. NBC Los Angeles https://www.nbclosangeles.com/world-cup/world-cup-2026-opening-ceremonies-date-time-performers/39026/closing parenthesis They are everywhere tonight, enormous versions of them rippling across the catch the stadium lights. It is a thoughtful choice. Papel picado is both festive and fragile. It moves with the air around it. It is made to be seen from a distance and appreciated up close. In that way it reflects something true about football itself, a sport that looks one way on a screen and entirely different when you are standing beside it. The tournament will run from this opening match all the way through to the final on the 19th of July in New York. Al Jazeera https://www.aljazeera.com/sports/2026/6/9/world-cup-opening-ceremony-who-is-performing-when-to-watch which means nearly 6 weeks of football spread across 16 cities and 3 countries, a scale that has never been attempted before. There will be a record 104 matches in total. Al Jazeera https://www.aljazeera.com/sports/2026/6/9/world-cup-opening-ceremony-who-is-performing-when-to-watch more than any previous edition, involving more nations, more players, more stories unfolding at once than the competition has ever held. It is, in the most literal sense, the biggest World Cup there has ever been. But you would not know that from standing here right now. The ceremony does not feel overwhelming. It feels grounded. The campo, the pitch, looks immaculate under the lights, the grass almost luminous in its greenness. The Azteca holds close to 87,000 people and most of those seats are now occupied. The sound of the crowd is a kind of weather, something you feel as much as hear. The musical program features Shakira and Burna Boy performing the official tournament anthem, Die Die, alongside a remarkable gathering of artists including Alejandro Fernandez, Belinda, J Balvin, Lila Downs, Los Angeles Azules, and Mana. The Scotsman https://www.scotsman.com/sport/international/world-cup-opening-ceremony-2026-how-to-watch-tv-and-streaming-details-and-who-is-performing-when-to-watch The artists share the field with the ceremony itself, not separate from it, but woven into its rhythm. The music does not announce the football. The music and the football announce each other. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has spoken of how these ceremonies will bring together music, culture, and football in a way that reflects both the individuality of each nation and the unity that defines this tournament. Time https://time.com/article/2026/05/29/World-Cup-2026-opening-ceremonies-FIFA/closing parenthesis. That phrase, individuality and unity, is worth sitting with for a moment because it describes something football has always done quietly and without much fanfare. The game is played the same way everywhere, with the same ball, the same rules, the same dimensions of pitch. And yet it becomes something entirely distinct depending on where you watch it. Mexican football has its own tempo, its own personality, its own relationship with the crowd. The ceremony tonight honors that without making it a lesson. Marco Ballack, who also produced the 2022 World Cup ceremony in Qatar and the 2026 Winter Olympics opening, has been clear that these ceremonies are not designed to be Super Bowl-style spectacles. NBC Los Angeles https://www.nbclosangeles.com/world-cup/world-cup-2026-opening-ceremonies-date-time-performers/390026/closing parenthesis. Instead they are meant to feel welcoming. There is a parade of flags. There are speeches. There is the presentation of the match ball, a ritual that is small in scale but carries real weight, the moment when the object that will be struck and chased and celebrated over the coming weeks is held up under the lights and given its moment of recognition. And then, soon, it will not be a ceremony anymore. It will be a match. Mexico against South Africa, a pairing that echoes the 2010 tournament opener when these same two nations met in Johannesburg. The players will emerge from the tunnel and the crowd will rise, and the sound that fills the Azteca will be something that no description quite catches. It is not simply noise. It is a kind of collective exhale, a city and a country releasing something held in anticipation for a long time. When the 2022 tournament opened in Qatar, the opening match drew a global audience of over 550 million people. Time https://time.com/article/2026/05/29/World-Cup-2026-USA-Mexico-Canada-FIFA/closing parenthesis. Tonight's figure will likely be comparable, perhaps more. Around the world, in bars and living rooms and outdoor screens, people are watching the same field, waiting for the same whistle. That is not a small thing. It is one of the few occasions where attention across the globe genuinely converges, not in crisis, not in grief, but in the shared anticipation of a game. The sun has long since set over Mexico City. The Azteca glows. The paper cutouts move in the warm night air. The players are in the tunnel. The ceremony is almost complete, which is to say the tournament is almost beginning, which is to say that for the next 6 weeks, football will be the organizing rhythm of a great deal of the world's attention. It starts here, on this pitch, in this city, with this match. Everything that follows, every goal and every near miss and every story that will be told for years afterward, begins with this moment. The whistle is close now.